This book is scary. Hey guys, my name is Gauri and we're gonna talk about Homo Deus, A Brief History of Tomorrow by Yuval Noah Harari. Homo Deus is a sequel to Sapiens, A Brief History of Mankind by the same author, and while as Sapiens tried to tell us what our history was and where we come from and how we became the master of this earth, this book focuses on talking about where we are headed as a species. And it's so interesting. This book, it's crisp, it's concise, it's to the point. The author lays the groundwork for his opinions, tells you where he comes from, and then tells his opinions, so it gives him some sort of credibility. This book is packed with information, and I don't know if I felt dumber or smarter after reading. His book starts by explaining that we've conquered the three big challenges we faced as a species: war, famine, and plague. And he doesn't underestimate the damage and the problems that people do face due to these issues. He does, statistically tell us that, there is, for example, famine. People are dying less of famine than of obesity. So then he also talks about how we hold humans accountable for all these issues and not God, which was the trend in our history. So basically he states that yes, these three problems we faced it as a species, and we've overcome that by a very great extent. So now we've conquered the three big challenges we had. What is next for the future of humans? So he gives the three big projects that we are most likely to head up in the future. That is bliss, divinity, and immortality. And though he does say that the very eminent dangers we do face is global warming and climate change, we are most likely not to address them because humans. And by humans, I mean that the kind of world we're living in a capitalist world where we are driven by the idea of growth, it is less likely that we'll be focusing on a very eminent danger, that is global warming, and instead focus on these three big issues. So in a nutshell, he does call humans big pieces of shits and narcissists. I don't disagree. To achieve the three big projects that humans have set for themselves, immortality, divinity, and bliss, what we require is a lot of scientific achievements and a lot of data. So this is where he introduces the concept of dataism. So until now, we've unwillingly or willingly been following humanism, the idea that the universe derives its meaning from human experiences and human feelings. But now, because we have shifted our focus to these three big projects, it is essential that we have to move on from humanism to dataism. So what is dataism? Dataism is basically the collection of as much data as possible for growth of humans and for the needs of humans. Right, the three big projects that we talked about, bliss, divinity, and immortality, they will require a lot of scientific achievements and a lot of research, which means that we'll require a lot of data. Now the problem is humans do have a very limited cerebral capacity, very limited memory, very limited resources in their brains to assess all this data. And that is where our big enemy comes from: artificial intelligence. So we are all familiar with what artificial intelligence is. It's basically robots and computers, and then coding them in such a way that they do form their intelligence of their own. So now that we have all this data, the only way anybody can ever extract something useful out of it would be through AI. And yeah, it's all cool that humans want to be conquer three big projects, but what this poses is a danger to individuals, to individual human beings. The loss of jobs they'll face, the loss of individuality they'll face is that in coming years, artificial intelligence will have most of the jobs that humans do possess. So for example, a doctor, if you just train a robot to become a doctor. He'll be prone to less mistakes, he'll be more efficient, it'll be less cost wise, it'll be less time wise, and it just seems like a better deal than a human doctor. Where are we headed? Yeah, though he does preface this by saying that, hey, I'm giving you this alternative, I'm giving you where we're headed. Please don't let humanity end up like this. Please, please don't let this prediction of mine come to true. And he does say that, history has always shown that, it doesn't always follow trends because it's dependent on humans, and humans are unpredictable AF. Like, for example, he does give an example of saying that, in the past we thought that communism would be the up and coming, system that everything will be based on, given that how many countries were adopting it. But then we did see that it's not so in the present. So he just is saying that if I can predict this, there's also a very real chance of us not following this and not coming to that end. So that was it. That was my discussion about Homo Deus. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, and comment down below maybe how good I look, or maybe how good this video was, or maybe just suggesting a book that I should read, suggesting a book or a show or a movie that you'd like me to review next. So yeah, bye.